Hey, truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. Yesterday, March 9th, 2017, the 20-year anniversary of the death of Notorious B.I.G., I put out two videos. Both are very important. Please take the time to watch them if you have not already. I will link them down in the description of this video so they're easy to get to. Somebody left a comment letting me know that later this year, May 19th, 2017, Faith Evans is releasing a duets album. It's her and her late husband, Notorious B.I.G. May 19th is Malcolm X's birthday, and I brought up the relation of the death of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr., the parallel to the death of Notorious B.I.G. yesterday. So we're going to expand on that in this video, now knowing that Notorious B.I.G. has a new album coming out later this year, May 19th, which would be 2 days before what would be his 45th birthday if he were still alive. Hip hop in Gematria equals 45. Big release right before what would be the 45th birthday of Notorious B.I.G. So let's go through this. There's a lot here. There's a very specific reason this album is releasing on this date. It has to do with Faith Evans. It has to do with Notorious. It has to do with Black history and Murder by Numbers, which Notorious B.I.G. is definitely a part of. So this announcement was made this year, February 3rd, 2017, that this album's coming out. That's when the hype started. February 3rd, Black History Month, a date that can be written 2/3, kind of like 23. Faith Evans was 23 years old when her husband died. The album will be called The King and I, as in Notorious is the king of hip hop, and I is Faith Evans. The word king in Gematria sums to 23. Using the English reduction method, let me just show you this real quick. Think about how LeBron James, King James, wears number 23. Last year he won the NBA Finals on the real King James's birthday, June 19th, which is also Juneteenth. Go back and see my work on the NBA Finals. Anyhow, the date of the announcement, February 3rd, 2017, that was a date with 42 numerology. 42 is the number stamped all over black people throughout history. February's Black History Month, the only month with 42 gematria. Just like how February sums to 42, so does Faith Evans. So does brothers. So does the most hateful word for black people. So does slavery. So does Zionism. So does Freemason. The release date of the album later this year will be 23 days from Faith Evans' upcoming birthday. She'll be turning 44. That's how old Notorious B.I.G.'s mother was when Biggie died. She'll be turning 44, the kill number, 23 days after the release of this album, The King and I. So notice she'll turn 44. Again, number related to death and killing. The name Faith has Gematria 44. I was mentioning yesterday that the fact that the media is giving so much attention to the 20-year anniversary of Biggie's death is interesting because the 20-year anniversary of Tupac's death just happened and there wasn't that much media attention. I don't even know if I heard anything about it, but this whole last week, the last 10 days or so, everywhere I've turned, there's been hype about the 20-year anniversary of Biggie's death. And remember, the same people who run the media are the same people who run the music recording industry and more. These people create hype because they have planned rituals to come. And I think it's more than the release of this album. I think we're going to see another death in relation to Christopher Wallace, Notorious B.I.G. It could be Faith Evans. It could be his mother. It could be someone associated with Bad Boy Records. We'll see what's coming, but there's a reason they're giving us so much attention to the 20-year anniversary of his passing. Faith equals 44, just like the name of his mother, who was 44 years old when he passed in 1997. It's interesting that her name also has gematria of 226. I didn't catch this yesterday when I talked about how Notorious and his mother grew up at 226 St. James Place. This is a number that has a lot to do with New York City, keeping time, Saturn, the keeper of time. We elaborated on this yesterday. The release date of this album, May 19th. That's also the day that leaves 226 days left in the year, which we'll touch on. Remember, this location, 226 St. James Place, just down the street from the closest Masonic Lodge, and it's Freemasonry that runs the show. If you missed my video on Jay-Z, Freemasonry, Rockefeller Records, again, those videos are linked in the description. You got to check them out. As for the title of the album, The King and I, let's talk about the King. The King in Gematria sums to 74, also 115. Masonic is 74 and 115. Killing is 74 and 115. Biggie died 74 days from his 25th birthday, and he reportedly died at 1:15 in the morning. Jay-Z would appear on the track Young G's on the Puff Daddy album that released July 1st. Remember, G is the symbol for Freemasonry. Young G's, that album, No Way Out, came out 115 days after the death of Notorious B.I.G. And Freemasons, the plural, equals 115. Freemason, the singular, equals 96. And Biggie died 96 days after Jay-Z's birthday in 96, the year he launched Rockefeller Records. So 74 days, or 2 months and 13 days. Remember 213? Talked about this number last night. Tupac Shakur released his last studio album February 13th, 213. Died 213 days later. Black History Month equals 213. So many people in history have died by the number 213, and in Satanic Gematria, 213 is the number for death. Notice 97 also connected to death. 25, Biggie would have turned 25 in 97. This album that's coming out is 25 tracks. Biggie died on a date with 38 numerology. So did Tupac Shakur. So have a million other musicians in history prematurely. The 20-year anniversary of his death getting a lot of hype. The title of the album, The King and I, in reduction also sums to 47, like Notorious. Right now, Jay-Z and Puff Daddy are both 47, the two biggest beneficiaries in hip-hop from the death of Notorious B.I.G. So check it out. Here's Malcolm X. Malcolm X, born May 19th, 1925. 25. This album, The King and I, is coming out this year, May 19th. Would have been Malcolm X's 92nd birthday. May 19th is the 139th day of the year, leaving 226 days remaining. Again, Freemasonry equals 139, so does Tupac Shakur, who died September 13th, 13/9, 2 years after the release of Ready to Die. That was Notorious B.I.G.'s first album. Biggie's death was followed by the release of his second album, Life After Death. Again, we talked about these things yesterday. Tupac Shakur and Shed So Many Tears has the lyrics about how he has to, every single move is a calculated step to embrace his early death. Shed So Many Tears came out years before his death. You know, on All Eyes on Me, Tupac constantly talking about dying. His final music video, I Ain't Mad at Ya, shows him in heaven. Did the song with Scarface where he's on the cross. Machiavelli equals 74, like rapper, like killing, like cross, like Jesus. Machiavelli, which came out right after Tupac's death, shows Tupac on the cross. The symbolism is very transparent. You know, the powers that shouldn't be who run the recording industry count on the masses not seeing the obvious, as so often the masses do. So look at this. With regards to Malcolm X and Notorious B.I.G., let's bring it all together. When you write out 226, it sums to 93. Remember, New York City, 93 World Trade Center bombing on 2/26, February 26. 93, 226, a special pairing. Malcolm X born on the day that leaves 226 days left in the year. Look at the gematria of Malcolm X, 93. Just like Martin Luther King Jr.'s 93. These two men only met one day in history on a date with 93 numerology, and they would both be murdered at age 39 by the same numbers. I have a old post from May 2016. This is a draft from the chapter in my book on the death of these two men. The book that I have coming out, there's a whole lot more information, but if you want to go back and read this, there's a ton of information worth knowing right here. Just know when the book comes out, there's going to be even more, and it's going to be more convincing. But 39, 93 significant numbers. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr., both dead at age 39, the reflection of 93. I want you to notice the name Malcolm has gematria of 39 as well, just like Biggie, who died on March 9th, a date that can be written 3/9 or 9/3. Remember, he died 93 days, Biggie did, before Faith Evans' birthday, who had her music recording career begin in 1993 in Los Angeles. And now, all these years later, a duet album on Malcolm X's birthday anniversary. So Malcolm 39, Biggie 39, Biggie's 39 in two formats. Sean, as in Sean Puffy Combs, 39, Puff Daddy 39, Shakur 39. Think about how Biggie and Tupac, both from New York, both dead in California. California equals 88, like the 88 for hip-hop. And real quick, let me just show you another 88. Rapper in reverse ordinals 88. Hip-hop, often abbreviated 88 because H is the 8th letter. You know, magazines like The Source have been putting out that knowledge for decades. The reason hip-hop is often associated with 88 because H is the 8th letter. The powers that shouldn't be, which own things such as The Source. You know, I've never looked at what The Source is in gematria. I just want to look. The Source is 42. Number stamped on black people. Oh, God. We should have known, all right? But look, I mean, The Source has been writing about HH and 88 and hip-hop for decades. You know? Early clues of gematria. Anyway, everything is 39 in New York. The United Nations there is 39 floors tall. New York 39, it's the Empire State 39, the abbreviations are 39. The original governor of New York is George Clinton, who was born in 1739. George and Clinton 39. The date of establishment for New York, July 26, 1788, date with 39 numerology. Biggie dead on 3/9, you know. It's because Freemasonry has run this nation from the beginning, and this is how the Freemasons operate. Faith Evans, born June 10th, from the day Biggie died to her birthday in 97 was 93 days. So, Notorious, who was born in 1972, again, his birthday is May 21st. He would have turned 45 this coming May. And you know what? You know what about May? I just realized I'm overlooking one. May equals 39 and reverse in 42. So the album coming out in May, very interesting. I'm just now looking at the satanic gematria of 144, which is a number connected to killing all throughout history. Also the number for time. Amazing. So anyway, Biggie, born May 21st, 1972, would have turned 45 this year. I talked about how the release of his albums were on dates with 45 and 54 numerology, Ready to Die, and Life After Death. Hip-hop, 45 and 72, like his year of birth. The album coming out, again, 25-track album, 97, the 25th prime. The word death has gematria of 97 and 25. Biggie died just before his 25th birthday. Notorious 97. Rockefeller Records 97. Hit 'Em Up, the diss track from Tupac about Biggie, where it begins with him talking about how he slept with his wife, Faith Evans. So I'll link this if you want to read the rest. Notice this part about Nat King Cole. If you missed my video from the beginning of 2016 on the death of Natalie Cole and Nat King Cole, those are old music murders by the numbers. You know? So many people have died in the recording industry all throughout history by the numbers. Sam Cooke, murdered at age 33, number of sacrifice. You know, and so often in these murders, they create a false narrative that's used to stereotype people. They said Sam Cooke was murdered because he was trying to rape a white woman. You think so? I bet you anything Sam Cooke could have got any woman in the world any time of day, you know? Young, handsome, one of the best singers on the planet, murdered and stereotyped. Part of an ongoing narrative. Black people are predators, they're dangerous, you know, it's just, remember, who runs your media? The Zionists, the false Jews, who've stolen the identity of the real Jews, who are dark-skinned people in the Bible. And remember, Bible, Old Testament, which the Jewish people go by, 39 books, you know. So look at this. I just started to decode all these tracks. All of these tracks are purposefully titled. I'm going to save the fun for you if you want to go to the Gematrinator calculator, which I'll link down below with the videos. But let's just look at the first track, A Billion. I'll just let you know legacy sums to 109 like Los Angeles. In yesterday's videos, I covered the significance of 109 in Biggie's death. Legacy equals 109. But let's just look at the first track, A Billion, and the 25th track, It Was Worth It. A billion equals 74, like The King, like Masonic, like Killing, like Rapper, like Notorious B.I.G. dead 74 days before his birthday. Like Machiavelli equals 74, like Cross, like Jesus. It Was Worth It, the final track. And just think about how sick it is. We know what this really means. It was worth it. Faith Evans probably really did sell out her husband for her own, you know, future, career, stardom, fame, wealth. She wouldn't be the first to do it. It's a long list. It Was Worth It, 139. Albums coming out on the 139th day of the year. Freemasonry, 139. Just like I wrote here, it's sick. It's sick, Truth Seeker. So real quick, 42. This album announced on a date with 42 numerology in February, Black History Month, Faith Evans, Slavery, February, you know it, Brothers, Malcolm, Martin. And yesterday we talked about how Notorious B.I.G. appeared on Martin, the hit TV show, one of the first black sitcoms. Martin's apartment was 402. We talked about Tommy dying last year. Got a video on Tommy's death by the numbers. He was in Prince Hall, Freemasonry. Prince equals 38, like death, like killing, like rapper. Tommy dead by the number 38, 38 days from his birthday. Just like Biggie and Tupac dead on the dates with 38 numerology and so many more. Malcolm X, 42, you know. Zionism has the gematria of 42 and 39. When you do these decodes, you'll see a lot of words have gematria of 42 and 39. Christopher Wallace, I should mention that Wallace is 42 since, you know, that's Biggie's last name. But yeah, Truth Seeker, I mean, the more you know, the more you're aware of, the more you see through. And gematria is real knowledge to know. I've been explaining these things for years, and, you know, as more time passes, I think less people come across my videos and dismiss them. But 3 years ago, when I was putting out this information, which wasn't too much different than what it is now, you know, the majority of people who saw my work, they'd say, man, you're a crazy person. This is stupid. This is ridiculous. And what I always said to those people, and what I've been saying for 3 years straight, is take this knowledge and apply it yourself. Then you'll realize it's not stupid. You know? I just put out 2 major videos yesterday, revealed a lot. And look, this piece was there the whole time. So I'm glad we uncovered it. More proof of what I'm saying. Make sure you do not buy this album. We should find out what record label is releasing it. And we should give them a little call, you know? Let them hear from the people of this nation who are waking up to what's really going on. It's murder for profit. Death sells. Remember when Michael Jackson prematurely died? After he had the massive insurance policy bought for him for the tour he was supposed to do? What happened after that? All of his records, you know, went to the top of the charts. Death is money. You know, hip-hop blew up after these deaths. It's funny. It's funny how these deaths blew up the industry, which now makes way more money, but the music's way worse. You know, they killed off all the good talent. Now they produce this plastic shit music. So anyway, Truth Seeker, until next time.